All right, welcome back, guys. Hopefully, your translations were easy enough to complete after watching that first video. This video, now we're taking a look at reflections, which might be a little bit easier for you because if you look right in our notes, it's just a negative sign. We're just inserting a negative sign either inside or outside. So again, this the pink box that's highlighted, horizontal movements, still inside changes, still substitution, verticals, outside changes. Well, now we got to figure out, well, what is this reflection of an x or a y axis? Is it a vertical? Is it a horizontal? Well, for that, we need to visualize what is actually happening. If I think of my coordinate plane, right? So here's a quick little mini one. If I was to flip over the x-axis, right? Here's my x-axis. If I was to take something, let's say in the top quadrants, and I was to flip it over the x-axis, it's going to cause it to go upside down, right? If I had a V-shape, right, absolute value graph, and I was to flip it over the x, it is now upside down, and vice versa, whether I took it from the bottom to go to the top. So a reflection on the x-axis made something go from top to bottom or bottom to top. That is a vertical movement. So anything we do there is outside, and you can see that's where the negative is. If for the y-axis, again, let me draw a little quick mini one. If I have the y-axis and I flip over from the left to the right, because that's where my y-axis is, that is going to be a horizontal movement. And again, you can see there that the negative is on the inside. The one hard thing with these graphs is if I have a V shape and I flip it around horizontally, it's still going to look like a V. So those are much harder for us to visualize as noted there because of that reflection. Okay, but if they tell us it's a reflection on the y-axis, I at least know what I got to do. Okay, so we're going to go through a few together, and then you guys will try on your own just like before. Again, in blue will be my thought process the whole time. So again, I am given an original function, negative 3x plus 7, and I am told that it is a reflection in the x-axis. So if I look up here, okay, that is a vertical movement. And then I know that's going to be something that is outside to deal with. Okay, in this case, it's going to be a distribution. So actually, I'm going to add that into this little notes up here after outside change, distribution. Because that's how we'll deal with it in cases where we put a number in the front of the function. All right, so again, back to my thought process over here. I need a new function, g of x. Looking at the notes, it says that is a negative f of x. Okay, so negative f of x. And that just means I'm going to negate the original function. I am going to take a negative, put it in front, and then distribute and simplify as needed. So g of x equals the negative of the original function. So just like before, we are going to take the original function, negative 3x plus 7. I didn't change it. I changed nothing of the original function. I just took this entire thing and I put it inside parentheses because I had to make a negative be on the outside of it. There's my negative. Well, now how do we deal with that? We distribute. So I'm going to take a negative, technically a negative 1. I distribute it to both parts, and voila, I got a brand new function. G of x, negative times negative 3 is a positive 3x. Negative times a positive 7, negative 7x. And that is my new equation. As simple as that. Okay, let's try a horizontal one. If we look right next to it, number 2, f of x, original function, absolute value of 4x minus 6. Again, this time they're telling me a reflection in the y-axis. So I know that this is a horizontal, which means I'm going to have an inside change, which is a substitution. Okay, I look at my notes. G of x is going to be f of negative x. So like we saw in the translation one, this is what is substituting, what is ever inside those parentheses. So I am going to go back to the original equation, and anywhere I see an x, I'm going to substitute this negative x inside of it. Okay, let me just break these apart here. So my g of x is going to be, take the original function as is, and all I'm going to do as soon as I hit an x, here it is, for x, I'm going to replace that x with what I want to substitute, that negative x. Close it. Close absolute value, minus 6. And then from there, just clean it up. Because this is 4 times a negative x, well, easy enough. That is a negative 4x. And we can leave it as such. Okay, so again, as you're going through your reflections, it's either something that's going to be outside and distributed, that is these x-axis vertical reflections, or something we are substituting, similar to how we did it in the translations video. It's just a simple negative x substitution though, anywhere I see an x, and then simplify. Okay, finish those rest